Plus, protesters clash with police as the retrieval of bodies from the Kware dump site continues. We are broadcasting live from our broadcasting headquarters of TV47 right here in Kenya's capital. Good evening and welcome. I am George Maringa. Our sign language interpreter is Rhoda Nyamai. Several demonstrators, among them a journalist working with Kameme Radio and TV, were shot during the anti-government protests in Nakuru. The journalist, Catherine Wanjeri Kariuki, sustained a gunshot wound while covering the ongoing anti-government protests in Nakuru. As Chichi Josephine opens our broadcast tonight with that report.
This was the real situation at the Nakuru Business District on Tuesday. Protesters engaged in a running battle with police officers, a battle that left one of the Nakuru journalists injured. Catherine Wanjeri Kariuki, a journalist working with Kameme Radio and TV, sustained a gunshot wound while covering the ongoing anti-government protest along Kenyatta Avenue. In a video well captured by TV47, the journalist was seen wriggling on the ground in pain as she shouted for help with blood stains on the upper part of her leg. Members of the Kenya Union of Journalists and Activists in Nakuru have strongly condemned police brutality, saying that the police shot at the female scribe, yet she was identifiable with a press card and a jacket.
Our members were well identifiable because they are wearing their jackets. Others were carrying their tools of trade. So it was easy for this officer to identify this journalist, but this particular rogue officer thought it wise to focus his energies on our member. Police officers were also captured throwing tear gas canisters at the protesters who are adamant in their pursuit to march through the streets. Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Thank you, Chichi, for that. And of course, it shall be forming part of our conversation tonight with the People's Court. Our guests are here in studio. We shall be forwarding and also talking about that and much more. And tonight, Kenyans are questioning the police for using live bullets to control protesters during anti-government demonstrations across the country. At least 2 people were confirmed dead in Kibwezi, Makueni, and several others were injured in different regions of the country. Paul Kirobi has more details.
Tuesday's protests across various parts of the country marked a tragic day as some lives were lost in Makueni County during the anti-government demonstrations. Reports indicate that at least 2 people have been confirmed dead, while 5 others are injured and currently receiving treatment at Kibwezi Hospital.
We want to know the people who shot our friends. And why? Why are they using live bullets? And why? Why?
Police officers from Kibwezi police station were compelled to use tear gas canisters to quell the chaos. Protesters had blocked the main Mombasa-Nairobi highway and the Kibwezi-Kitui road, protesting against the high cost of living and criticizing the government for using force on peaceful demonstrators. In Nairobi County, within the Central Business District, a peaceful protest turned tragic. Several youth fleeing for safety were chased by police officers who fired shots that struck a young person. CCTV footage captured at exactly 12:22 shows the young man running for his life, only to be shot a few seconds later, causing him to collapse. Meanwhile, in Mombasa County, several people were injured as police attempted to disperse the crowds along Jomo Kenyatta Avenue. What began as a peaceful demonstration turned chaotic when police fired tear gas canisters to break up the protest.
Risasi ndio hii. mnaiona hii. Mtu amepigwa risasi na polisi, mtu ambaye alikuwa ana ukimya, anaimba mambo yake ya uzalendo na kusisitiza serikali ifute wafisadi na watu waliokuwa na tashwishi zao za uongozi ambao hawafai kuwa viongozi.
Normal activities were disrupted at Mahikalo Primary School in Kakamega County after anti-riot police officers threw tear gas canisters into the school compound, affecting the students' learning. The incident occurred while the police were attempting to disperse protesters in the town today. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Thank you, Paul. Pro-good governance protests entered the fourth week with running battles between the police and protesters being witnessed in various towns across the country. As has been the norm for the past 3 weeks, tear gas canisters were used to disperse protesters who were adamant in voicing their concerns. Have a look.
This was the situation as witnessed in various towns today. Protesters in Kitengela were caught in running battles with the police, with some getting injured. Some businesses were not so lucky as they were extensively damaged. Those caught attempting to steal a loot were accused of riding on the pretense of protest in order to loot. Also in Machakos County's Mlolongo town, angry protesters surrounded the Machakos police station, demanding the release of one of their own who had been detained. And after the running battles, police were forced to disperse the protesters with tear gas. Kenyans are still not impressed with the way the president is handling issues, and they say they are pro-good governance. Vera Alberta, T47.
Thank you, Vera. On Tuesday, protests rocked the country's capital, Nairobi, bringing normalcy to a halt with the Central Business District. Within the Central Business District, hundreds of youth took to the streets with a new set of demands calling for proper governance and improved service delivery. Moiga William followed the unfolding events where dozens were reported to have sustained injuries. Take a look.
Nairobi has historically been known to be the city of calm waters, but its clouds were not as calm. As Tuesday chaos dominated the once tranquil city under the sun, with protest dominating everything during the day. The youth in another set of demonstrations took to the streets to agitate for an array of issues that the William Ruto administration should immediately address. The anti-government protest ensuing days after Ruto fired 21 out of his 22 cabinet secretaries.
People are fighting for everything. What is the president doing right now? Nearly next to nothing.
Article 43 of the Constitution guarantees us right to food, right to employment, right to healthcare, right to what? Education. Did I mention education? Right to security. What kind of security are we getting here?
Sababu vitu mingi tumeweza kufinyika sana.
The streets of Nairobi turning to be a battlefield between police and demonstrators as business owners who opted to shut their operations felt the effects of lost business.
Watu wameogopa kuja Nairobi juu kitu moja tunategemea watu wakuja Nairobi wanaogopa woga wa maandamano wa siku ya leo. Na tunaomba tu maandamano kwanza ishe, mambo yaendelee mzuri.
Hali hapa ni mbaya sana. Juu hata abiria hatupati hapa Nairobi. Baada magari zimelala hapa tu zimetegea vile watu watakuja tuende nyumbani.
The chaotic scenes took a different twist as dozens sustained injuries, including gunshot wounds. Police, at times, were forced to use excessive force when protesters attempted to overpower them.
Article 37 of the Constitution gives us the right to come here and protest. We do not have... These are the only things that we have.
Sent live bullets to come and hit our children, man. Wametumwa, as in, we are protesting now for Kenyans' rights. This guy will finish us. Angalia.
Protesters, storms, police, tear gas, turning to be a cat and mouse chase. That was the situation within the country's capital, Nairobi. Again, protesters coming out to protest against the Kenya Kwanza government. Mwege William, TV47, Nairobi's Central Business District.
Thank you, Moige. As the anti-government protests intensify across the country, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, KNCHR, has released a report on the deaths and injuries reported since the protests began. Elizabeth Atieno with the details. Let's bring you a developing story where a section of Kenyans have reported experiencing an earth tremor a few minutes ago at around 8:34 p.m. The tremor was felt in various parts of Kirinyaga, Ruaka and Westlands. This information has been shared by the public online, and we advise waiting for the official communication for further details. We take that again, where a section of Kenyans reported experiencing an earth tremor a few minutes ago at around 8:34 p.m. The tremor was felt in various parts of Kirinyaga, Ruaka and Westlands. Kindly stay safe as we wait for the official communication and further details. Away from that, a new twist is now emerging on the real identity of the Kware killings suspect Collins Jumaisi Halusha after a family linked to him in Vihiga County denied having any ties with the murder suspect, saying that the person arrested is not their kin as alleged by the security agencies. Now further, the family now wants the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, to embark on thorough investigations to unravel the suspect's true identity, as they insist that he's not one of their own. Arnold Adidi visited the purported family and prepared this report.
After the DCI published information about the arrest of one Collins Jumaisi Halusha, who has been identified as a key suspect in the brutal Kware killings in Nairobi, Kenyans have been raising mixed reactions, especially about the identity of the suspect and where he hails from. In its statement, the DCI indicated that the suspect, Collins Jumaisi Halusha, is from Hamisi area in Vihiga County. Further leads linked the suspect to a particular family in Shiru area in Hamisi. We came to this village to visit the family and perhaps find answers to the many questions that have surrounded the suspect. Surprisingly, our visit to this village raised even more questions, as the purported family, as well as locals here, denied knowing the suspect, Collins Jumaisi Halusha.
Mimi nimeshangaa kwa maana hiyo mtu hata mimi simjui. Hata mimi nilikuwa nasema hii mtoto wa mtu alikuwa anafanyaje watu. Hatujui hiyo mtu sisi. Na sisi tumekaa hapa miaka.
According to Boniface Karanja, who is a member from the family that has been associated with the suspect, they do not recognize the person arrested. He clarified that although the family once had a person by the name Jumaisi, they say that due to the age difference between him and the suspect, it is unlikely that he is the one in police custody.
Ya kwetu kama familia naweza kusema huyu Collins hatumfahamu. Jina Jumaisi ni moja wapo yenye naweza kusema kuna mtu aliwahi itwa Jumaisi mtu wa Iboma. Akiwa ndio alikuwa babangu mdogo. But kwa maisha yao babangu na bibi yake walitofautiana mwaka wa 92 na mama akatoka na watoto. Kwa hii muda wote hawajawahi rudi, hatujui penye wako.
Residents from this area have also distanced themselves from the DCI's report.
Juu kama ni mtu alizaliwa hii area, hata mzee wa mtaa anaweza mtambua. Hata kama ni chief anaweza mjua. Wakazi hata jirani anaweza mjua. The brother yake pia anamjua. So isikuwe tu ni mambo ya kutuzungusha hapa na pale.
Efforts to unravel the true identity of the suspect, Collins Jumaisi Halusha, could now be taking a new twist, as a family he was associated to in Vihiga denied knowing the suspect. From Vihiga County, my name is Arnold Adidi.
Thank you, Arnold. Collins Jumaisi Halusha, suspected of killing at least 42 women and dismembering their bodies before dumping them at a quarry in Kware area of Embakasi South, has alleged police brutality since his arrest on Monday. According to his lawyer, John Mainandegwa, Halusha claimed he was tortured into confessing to the murders, and he pleaded with the court to grant him access to medical care, as Ruga Evil now tells us.
After thorough deliberation over the evidence, John Mainandegwa, the defense lawyer representing the murderer suspect in the Kware killings, Collins Jumaisi, alleged that the confession by his client was obtained through coercion and through other unlawful means by the police.
For reasons that the period under detention he was subjected to molestation, torture, and the confessions the public is being treated to, admittedly having murdered around 42 persons. Is firstly laughable.
The murder suspect was initially brought before the Kiambu Law Court, where the judge declined to proceed with the case, citing jurisdictional reasons and directing that it be transferred to Nairobi County, where the crime occurred.
That's withdrawn. You can move to the proper forum. I agree also. You can take him to Makadara.
The decision to move the case to the magistrate's court was endorsed, placing the suspect under the oversight of Magistrate Irene Gichobi. The prosecution, led by the DCI's investigative unit, requested a 30-day remand period for Collins Kolusha to facilitate further investigations. In response, his lawyer argued for his release on bail, adding that he required psychological evaluation and treatment, adding that his rights had been infringed for long.
My client, under Article 50, has a right of fair trial.
Pending formal charges, Collins Jumaisi will now remain in police custody in a police station of choice for the additional requested 30 days. Ruga Ival, TV 47.
One more body was retrieved from the Kware dam site in Mukuru Kwanjenga on Tuesday afternoon, tied in a sack similar to those found previously. The number of bodies recovered in day 5 of the retrieval exercise is now believed to be 13 as the search continues. And as Mike Kagwongo reports, locals have called on the government to provide correct information of how many bodies have been recovered, since no police officers are on the ground to facilitate the exercise.
The controversy behind how many bodies have been recovered in the Kware dump site in Mukuru Kwanjenga continues to raise questions on how statements from the government contradict with the accounts by divers who retrieved the bodies in the absence of the police. And with one more body having been recovered Tuesday, residents believe there is a conspiracy to hide what they term as the truth after a total of 13 bodies were retrieved since Friday. Stephen Nyongesa is one of the volunteers and was at the forefront of retrieving bodies from the dump site. He urged relevant authorities to provide necessary recovery gear to help him continue the recovery process, as he believes more bodies are yet to be recovered.
Sunday tulitoa mwili moja, jana tumetoa mwili mbili, leo tumetoa moja. Hizo ni mwili ngapi? Hizo zimefika mwili 4.
Mili ni mingi hapo. Tunaona mingi. Sijui venye tutalala juu umeona hiyo maiti kaa 10 ama 15 na weni mtu normal.
In absence of police officers, locals continued with the exercise to recover more bodies, calling out the government to provide correct information to Kenyans.
Na kama wanasema kulingana nao ni 10, sisi kulingana na ground sisi ndio tunazitoa. Kwa sababu gani? Ukiangalia hapa hakuna afisa wa polisi yako hapa. Ni kweli. Ukiangalia saa hii hakuna mtu wote wa DCI yako hapa.
Hapa hivi hawezi danganya, watu waliona na macho yao. Hadi mimi nikaona macho yangu. Mwili zilitolewa mpaka saa hii hesabu yangu najua ni mwili 13.
If we see another report there, because we are in this nation, we want to make transformation. We will even transform these media houses.
The recovery exercise is expected to continue Wednesday. Mike Kagwongo, TV 47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mike. Post-mortem examinations on bodies recovered from a quarry in Kware were suspended early Tuesday due to the ongoing anti-government protests that hindered pathologists from reaching the city mortuary. This as families searching for their loved ones who disappeared under mysterious circumstances in the past flocked to the mortuary. However, as Andrin Kilemi now reports, they were unable to positively identify the deceased due to the extensive damage to the bodies.
Wednesday 19th June 2024, Wilkista Ososo, commonly known as Blessy, would leave her house in Mukuru kwa Ruben never to return. Her mother, Celine Ososo, is among the people gathered here at the city mortuary with the hope of finding their missing kin.
Ilipofika tarehe 24 nikapigiwa na rafiki yake simu mwenye anaitwa Rosi. Akaniambia Blethi haonekani. Ilipofika tarehe 26 nikakuja hapa Nairobi. Sasa tumetafuta huyu mtoto kila mahali lakini hapatikani.
Wilkister's friend Rosie narrates how after days of missing her friend around, she called her through her phone, which would be picked by a male person who informed her that Wilkister was being held at the Thika police station.
Na sasa ako mbali, naweza ongea naye juu mimi ni dada yake na sijamuona tangu jana. Sasa nashindwa ako wapi?
Ako ndani sahi.
Umesema wapi? Thika Road.
Thika police.
Sawa, wacha nione kama nitakuja kesho asubuhi.
Kupiga tena saa 5. Simu imefungwa. Ni mteja haipatikani. Paka wa sasa imefungwa.
After a thorough search at the Thika police station, Rosie sensed that something was amiss. Determined to help, she quickly alerted Wilkister's family, who traveled from Busia to Nairobi to find their loved one.
Na uchungu mwingi sana. Naomba mnisaidie.
Even more shocking is that officers at the Thika police station stated that the man who answered Wilkister's phone is not known to them. Meanwhile, the post-mortem exercise on the Kware bodies was halted Tuesday due to the ongoing protests.
There isn't much happening here at the morgue because, as you know, the Gen Zs have called for a protest, a total shutdown. So what we are informed is that the doctors were fearful of coming out and they requested that the autopsy process be postponed to tomorrow.
With the mystery of the Kware killings yet to be unraveled, questions continue to arise about how this main suspect managed to carry out these murders for 2 years without detection. Meanwhile, post-mortem examination of the bodies is expected to resume tomorrow here at the city mortuary. Andrin Kilemi, TV 47.
Thank you, Andrine. Shock unraveled in Kiandai village in Ndai, Kirinyaga County after a 20-year-old woman killed her 2 children aged 2 and 3 years by throwing them into a water swamp.
Residents of Kiandai village in Kirinyaga County are engulfed after a 20-year-old woman, Grace Wamboi, threw her 2 children in a swamp where they lost their lives. According to the local residents, Mary and her husband were going through domestic issues that led to the husband kick her out of the matrimonial home.
Walitukanana na bwana yake na akafukuzwa. Na anaona afadhali tupe hawa watoto kwa hiyo maji.
According to one of the family friends, Mary, who appeared depressed, had gone to a school where her 2 kids were attending and asked the teacher to allow her take the kids with her to a burial, only for her to kill her 2 children.
Nasikia kwamba huyu mama alichukua watoto wake na akawaweka kwa hii mto kwa hii maji unaona hapa. Na watoto wakija kutolewa wameshafariki.
One of the villagers stated that he was shocked that he had given counsel to Wamboi and even offered her kid food and rushed to a shopping center to buy airtime, only to find out that she had thrown her kids into the swamp.
Watoto wake tukaona kama wanajaa, tukawapea nchi. Niliona ya kwamba niende kwa duka ninunue credit niwafahamishe wale wenye huku.
The bodies of the 2 children were retrieved and later taken to Kerugoya mortuary, awaiting post-mortem. Samira Mohammed, TV 47.
Meru County is increasingly witnessing another political turmoil after the ward representatives and the governor of Meru are seen at a crossroads again. John Java Kiania tells us about the motion that is expected to be tabled once again by the ward representatives to impeach the governor of Meru, Kware Mwangaza, after 3 attempts hit the hard rock.
Less than a year after the Senate saved the governor of Meru, Kware Mwangaza, from impeachment, the political turmoil in Meru County started once again after the ward representatives expected to table a fresh motion tomorrow for impeaching the governor. In the last failed impeachment, A total of 59 MCAs, all of whom were at the assembly, out of the 69 voted in the support of the motion. Kware faced charges of misappropriation and misuse of resources, nepotism, bullying, illegal appointments, and the contempt of court, among others. Kware denied all the charges and put up a spirited defense, saying she was being victimized as a woman leader by male-dominated county assembly. The MCs also alleged bullying, vilification, and demeaning of other leaders in the county, illegal appointments, and usurpation of statutory powers. Meanwhile, Tuesday, young people from the county held demonstrations accusing the Meru MCAs of harassing Governor Kware Mwangaza and asking them not to present the motion against the governor. Well, on the other hand, other youth had a different opinion regarding the looming impeachment.
MCAs tunawaambia wa compile to yani wasikizane wakuze pamoja tuongee waache kusumbua mama. Wafanye kazi na mama, waache kukua nile male chauvinism.
Anasema mama must go. Hakuna maendeleo tunaendelea hapa.
Swali ile kubwa kwa mama, kwa nini anatumia sisi kama comrades kuja kupigania Meru County?
John Javakania, TV47.
Thank you, John Javakania, for that report, which leads us to a first short break right here on the Daily Report. We are coming back in a few minutes, including the People's Court, which will be coming your way after the news. But first, let's take a breather. Our guests are already here in studio.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that, so when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
What point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries, and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave, wallahi. Ambao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way, where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Achievement and their bright future ahead. Sports News brought to you by Maybets.
Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw